Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Open Equine Market Commentary for the week of April 29th. My name is Toby Gennaro from Trade with Precision, and just coming to you this week with the outlook on the markets. Okay, so kicking off the week here, looking at the S&P 500 and the ES futures contracts. In order to do that, we still have just another couple of days here on this particular candle right here for the month. So we're looking at the monthly chart here, and it's looking pretty bullish. So we're pretty much here at the end of the month, and so just looking to wait and see how that candle closes out. So things are looking pretty positive here. Market continues to push higher on this very strong trend. Had a nice bullish candle here at the close of last week. So once we get a break of the high of that candle, which would be right up around, let's get you an exact level there, a high of 1588.25. Break of the high of that level this week more than likely means we're going to be pushing higher in terms of technicals. Looking down here at the daily chart, we do have just a level in right there around 1568. Daily chart isn't telling us a whole lot other than we're pretty close there to the moving averages. We don't have a lot of overextension there. As we move down then to the 480 chart, we can start to see some setups on the trend flow strategy setting up. So we have an indecisive candle right here. Then we have a nice small bullish candle right there in the buy zone. Got a break of the high of that candle. Things are looking like we're going to be pushing up back to that level here around 1588, potentially back up to that most recent high of 1593, which would be the ultimate high. And then as we move down to some of the lower time frames, looking for a couple of time frames in agreement, which is what our trade strategies call for on the trend flow strategy as well as momentum breakout. And we can see we have some similar things here. We have some indecisive candles here. We have a couple of bullish candles here right in amongst that buy zone, amongst the 10 and 20 period moving average. We do have a break of the high of those small grouping of small candles there. So it looks like, again, we're going to be pushing back up to that level here on the 240 chart. As we move down to the 120, we can see we have several bullish candles here right in this kind of sideways consolidation. We just got the break of the high of those grouping of some of those bullish candles right there, and it looks like we're going to be pushing higher. We don't have the moving averages in alignment here, so it wouldn't be taking the 120-minute chart as part of the multiple time frame agreement. I'll be looking primarily at the 240 and the 480 since we have all the moving averages in order, in alignment, all fanning to the upside. Here we just have the 10 and 20 that are reversed and actually moving to the downside. So this is common amongst the time frames in every strong trend. So again, we're looking for a couple of side-by-side time frames that give us some directional bias, and it looks like we have that on the 240 and the 480 chart. So things again looking pretty bullish for the week ahead on the S&P 500, looking again to get back to that most recent high of 1593, 1594 on the daily chart. And looking at the small cap index, the Russell 2000 on the monthly chart, the highest time frame that we're looking at. Again, we don't have a closeout of this candle yet. We have another couple of days here, but things are looking fairly bullish. The market pushes up higher here in the first couple of days of this week. Looks like we're going to have a very nice bullish candle right there, potentially looking to break the high of that most recent high there, according to the monthly chart. In looking at the weekly, we have this pullback right back into the buy zone and amongst that 10-20 period moving average. Have a nice weekly bullish candle set up right there. So we're looking for the break of the high of that candle, and the high would be right around that 942.70 level. So a break of the high of that week technically would mean another push higher, potentially back up into that 951 level and potentially putting in maybe a new high. So as you can see on the daily chart, we do have a flat level with several touches along that 951 level. We also do have some divergence setting up. It looks like it's played out on some of these indicators here, and it looks like we might be moving back up, and we'll have to see what happens if we get back up to this 951 level to see if we put in a consolidation sideways at that level and then get a breakout, and that could be a fairly large breakout. If you'll notice right here, we do have a lower high in place on the daily chart. The four moving averages are no longer in order. We have the 10 and 20 period moving average reversed on the daily chart. We also have the 50 period moving average that's in there as well. If we do put in a lower high right here at this 941 level and start to move back down toward this 893 level, that could be putting in there multiple touches, and we could be looking for a break to the short side, which would then take us probably looking down at that 850 level, which we've been looking at for quite a while here on the monthly chart. So we've got a flat level that's set up about 4 months ago, and so at some point there'd probably be a pullback to that level. And if we get this set up on the daily chart moving back down, break of that level there at 891 around there, more than likely look out below because it could be going further south. So we don't have that same setup on the ES, but we do have that looking there on the Russell. Don't really anticipate that. More than likely anticipating something here at the 951 level prior to the 891 level. So in looking at some of the lower time frames like the 480, we're back in the buy zone on the 480 chart. So we do have a bullish candle there. We've got a couple of smaller candles setting up. Looks like we have a slight break above the high of that candle. Ideally, if we get a break above this candle right here around this 937 level, we're going to be, looks like we're going to be moving higher. If we come down to find a second time frame on the 240-minute chart, have a bullish candle set up right here. We don't have a break below the low of that level, which was right around that 928 level. We don't have a break of the high of that candle, which is going to be at 934.20. Once we get a break in 934.20, that would look very bullish for moving back up into at least this 942 level, and then potentially higher back up into 951. So things are looking, fairly bullish again on some of these time frames like the 480 and the 240. Not so bullish here on the daily, so we don't have agreement across all of the time frames. We've been trading this trend for quite a while, and we've had the agreement of all of these higher time frames, and now we're looking at potentially lower highs, lower low, and if this puts in then another lower high, look out below. So a little bit cautious here in looking at the Russell futures contracts and some of the small cap stocks related to the U.S. indices. And lastly, taking a look at a foreign currency pairing here on the pound yen. Just as we normally do, taking a look from the top down here on the monthly chart. Had this level right down here that's been holding for really quite some time, going all the way back to 2009, down at that 117 level. We've got some divergence in here on the monthly chart, which can be very, very powerful. We've got a break above the high of this level right here around 132. We continue to move higher. We've got the moving averages on the 10 and 20 crossing up. We don't have the 50 period moving average getting into alignment just yet, but we could be on the early stage of of a move higher here. As we move to look at the weekly chart, we can see we have a nice uptrend. We have at least the three moving averages in alignment, the 50, the 20, and the 10. Very nice bullish candle there, set up about 3 weeks ago, and looks like we're pushing higher. We did break the high of that last week, and so we could be moving higher again. We'll only know that by looking for some setups here on some of the lower time frames. As we move down to the daily chart, you can see we have a nice formation. All the moving averages are in alignment, fanning to the upside. They're in order. We have some very nice bullish candles back here, and we have a break of the high of those candles. We just got another pullback back into that 10-20 period buy zone according to our trend flow strategy. Have a nice small candle setting up there. We'll see if that closes out bullish by tomorrow. If that does, and we can get a break of the high of that candle, looks like we'll be moving back up into the highs here of 153 and beyond. As we move down to the 480 chart, we can see that we have, again, all the moving averages in alignment. Have a nice small candle setting up right there in the buy zone. We have a break of the high of that candle. So according to the 480 chart, looks like there's a little earlier signal there. It looks like we're moving higher. And if we move down to the 240 chart, we have a couple of nice bullish candles. Very nice bullish candle right there. Another one setting up right there. We have a break of the high of those candles, and we're back into the moving average. All the moving averages are in alignment, fanning to the upside. So it looks like we're going to be making a move back up into that, potentially that 153, 154 level. So pretty bullish charts there technically on the pound yen. And according to the trend flow strategy that we're teaching in the advanced course, have a nice setup there on the 480 and the 240 charts. So there's the outlook for the markets this week. We'd like to thank you all for watching the Open Cry market commentary for the week of April 29th, and we do look forward to speaking to you next week on the market update.